boom! It's Christmas time. Really though, guys, I love Christmas. Christmas is by far my favorite time of year. It's fun. It's like everyone gets really caught up in the season, and it's like, regardless of who you are or what you're exactly celebrating, everyone just seems to be a little bit kinder and a little bit more giving at this time. And I just love it. And by far, probably the greatest symbol of this time of year and this time of generosity and this time of giving and kindness is Santa Claus. I'm a big fan of Santa Claus. I love his work. And of course, Santa being the most kind and giving and generous person ever, that kind of thing gets you into a lot of places, including Marvel Comics. Santa appears as a regular guest character in Marvel Comics, and has been for a very long time, and has interacted with all of the other Marvel characters, and along the way has created his own mythos and his own, legacy within Marvel Comics, and it's really quite interesting to see. So why don't we saddle up the reindeer, get up onto the housetop, click, 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 and I will explain to you everything you need to know about Santa Claus in the Marvel Universe. Now, what's really cool is that Santa's origin in the Marvel Comics universe is very close to how it exists in our universe. In the Marvel Comics, Santa wasn't born per se. He was kind of believed into existence through a combination of several different myths and legends. First, we have the legend of Saint Nick from the 4th century in Turkey. Then we have the legend of Old Man Winter from really, really old England. And the legend of Odin, who in the Marvel universe, of course, is the father of Thor, which means that, he's pretty significant to how Marvel runs things. These legends mixed together created this environment where people believed these legends for the purpose that they served, and sharing stories about giving and kindness and generosity, and that belief mixed itself into this batch of spiritual energy that created the physical being of Santa. Because comics are weird, and I love them. They're so great. So yeah, again, for the most part, it very closely mirrors how we view Santa. His origins are very similar to how the Santa legend began here in the real world. And a lot of the specifics came about from places like the Rankin Bass Christmas specials, as well as classic poems like The Night Before Christmas. All of that stuff. But the difference is that Marvel Comics adds in a lot of comic book tropey science fiction elements to try and make sense of all of it. And I love it. It's so fun. For instance, Santa has a large assortment of superpowers and specialized gear that help him fulfill his mission and giving presents to everyone in the world in one night. First thing, Santa has a dimensionally limitless bag that he can fit infinite amounts of stuff in. He also has a magic key that he uses to get into apartments and places that don't have easy chimney access. And speaking of chimney access, Santa has this ability to warp both time and space around him. So he can go down the chimney and he can warp it to be big enough for him to fit through. Or in cases where he doesn't have a chimney, he does the thing he does in the Santa Claus, where he goes down the exhaust pipe and it turns into a chimney. Because Santa can just mess with whatever he wants, because he's Santa. This ability to warp time and space also breaks down time barriers while he's in the sleigh and he's about doing his Christmas stuff, and allows him to be able to travel the world in one night. However, it's believed that Santa, we haven't even seen the extent of his powers. He met up with the X-Men once, and the X-Men have discovered that he is the most powerful mutant in existence. He has all of the cool superpowers, and in this particular story he was able to demonstrate a few of them. For instance, We know that he has power of weather control, he has some level of telekinetic power, and he also has temporary transfiguration powers over other objects. Like he finds the Brotherhood of Mutants and he turns them into toys temporarily. That's frightening. That much power is scary. As far as allies and enemies go, like I said, Santa has had interactions with most of the Marvel Universe, I would say, as well as all of the really cool popular heroes. Starting in World War II, though, he also gains an arch nemesis. I know, Santa has an arch nemesis in this, isn't that great? And his arch nemesis is perfect. His arch nemesis is just straight up Hitler. In World War II, Hitler was able to kidnap Santa Claus to try and demoralize America, but then Captain America, Nick Fury, and Bucky Barnes were able to break in. They saved Santa, and Santa went on his merry way. His merry way. That's funny. And this interaction started a very, very clear rivalry between Santa and Hitler. Even when we get closer to the modern day, Hitler had this evil clone villain of himself called the Warmonger, and Santa, he's not really seen confronting bad guys so directly, but this one time he did. He created like the snowstorm that blinded the Warmonger and ultimately defeated his plans of launching a nuclear war. Santa's greatest power, though, probably has to be his influence over other people. For example, there's one incident where he met up with Dr. Doom, and he was able to convert Dr. Doom from evil to good. So, I mean, I guess you can say he knows how to turn the bad guys good for a weekend? That was dumb. That was a terrible joke. I'm gonna have to cut that out. So, to summarize everything, here's like the bullet points of what you need to know about Santa and the Marvel Universe. 1. His origins very closely match the origins of the Santa Claus legend here in the real world. 2. He is the most powerful character in Marvel Universe, and we haven't even seen anywhere close to his full extent of power. Number 3, Marvel found a way to incorporate sci-fi and comic book tropes to explain why Santa is able to do the things that he does. And 4, he's a good guy who has tons of influence. He embodies the spirit of Christmas and the spirit of giving, and that kind of influence makes the whole world better. Yeah, at least over Christmas Eve and Christmas. He's not the most regular character to show up in Marvel Comics. He never really has like his own series or anything, at least within Marvel. But it's a real pleasure anytime he does show up. And when I see Santa in a comic book, it's like, that's it. It's time for Christmas. So, I'd just like to thank you guys for joining me. This was fun. I enjoyed researching this. If you're curious about any other comic characters and you want me to go ahead and kind of give them the same kind of format, go ahead and go into the comments and let me know. And in the meantime, just, again, thank you so much for joining me. This is a fun adventure. I'm excited to see what comes of the new year. And until next time, thank you for joining me. Have a great day. And remember to always be your best self. And Merry Christmas!